Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You are tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports radio station, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, iTunes, Audible, Amazon Music, TuneIn, and more. I am so delighted that you're here starting next Monday, March 7th. I'm so excited about going live because it gives me the opportunity to do some of the things that I have not been doing since I've had to pre-record during the pandemic. We're going to have old and new things. One is Headlines to Heartlines, where I take the news and put a hashtag positively opinionated twist on it so you don't end up listening to the news and going, what's wrong with people? And is the world going to hell in a handbasket? That's my job because I'm on a happy 88 mission, 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years. And I am here to affirm for you and to know for you that you can be 88% happy, even in a pandemic, even when relationships get broken, even when you've had a painful past, even when you've been betrayed, because life is way too short to suffer. And pain in life is mandatory, but suffering is optional. As well, I'm going to institute a drive-by compliment minute where you can call in and pay someone a compliment that goes out on the air. Again, trying to balance out all of the negative, insulting, angry ranting that you see a lot of in social media and in media. So we're going to use drive-by compliments. One, because it's 8 in the morning, and many of you listen to me in the car on the way to work. So drive-by compliment there. As well, drive-by in that you won't get a reaction right away from people when you pay them the compliment. And it's kind of like that random act of kindness. It's so wonderful to compliment people. There are so many benefits. It makes you feel good, it makes them feel good, and you do not follow it up with a request or on the other hand, yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. Somebody gives you a compliment and you kind of look at them and go, okay, what do you want? Or what's the bad news? Or what's the other shoe that's going to drop on that compliment? Plus, I also want to address how important compliments are for perfectionists. A lot of you know that I'm a recovering perfectionist, and one of the qualifications is if you get 99 compliments and 1 insult, you have a tendency to focus on the insult. Even though there's an overwhelming majority of things, positive things that are said about you, you're only focused on that insult. So it's training to actually take in positive and tune your mind away from the negative. Majority is supposed to rule, so you're supposed to pay attention to all of the nice things that are told to you, and most important, that you can tell yourself. So that's drive-by compliments. And then finally, doing more callers, getting your life tires balanced and your thinking smog checked. And to celebrate the start of Women's History Month, I'm doing some women who have been callers with me, asking for advice, anything from moms to women at work to women in relationships. And we have 2 callers today. We have a caller, Lakeese, who's asking for help. She knows that she's probably getting in her own way. And then we have Marissa from LA who wants to be a better mother and a better daughter. You know, there's only two times in life when you don't have mother issues: when you're born and when you die. And if it's not one thing, it's your mother. So don't go away. We'll be back with those callers on Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And we're back. You are tuned into Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports radio station, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, iTunes, Audible, Amazon Music, TuneIn, and streaming everywhere, including my YouTube channel, where you can get all of my almost 700 shows streaming over the last 513 consecutive weeks, almost 9 years, and also my red carpet playlist with interviews with celebrities like Halle Berry, John Travolta, Quincy Jones, and more. You'll also get my new short film called PPP, Post-Pandemic Possibilities. And we are definitely now in that zone, in that time. And it got its first laurel, so we're super excited about that. And we're almost at 250,000 views. So please do free subscribe on my YouTube channel, where you can get as much hashtag positively opinionated, hashtag relentlessly inspiring Dr. Marissa as you want. All right. And as promised, here are the callers that want to up-level their happiness in relationships, in their work, and in helping themselves. Enjoy.
Our first caller this morning, it is LaKiss from LA. Welcome to the show. The thing I like to do is connect with you. So if you could put your feet on the ground, your palms up in your lap, gently closing your eyes, and connect with me through breath. Taking a deep breath in through the nose and releasing. Soft shoulders, soft elbows, soft knees. And one more deep breath in. Good. And releasing all the stories and the drama, connecting to me through chi, eternal energy. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Beautiful. And on a scale of 1 to 10, tell me how you are doing, 10 being fabulous, 1 being not so fabulous, in the area of relationships.
3.
3. All right. Looks like that's where we might be going. In the second category, job and career, on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you rate yourself? Same scale.
6.
6. And then finally, in health and well-being.
5.
5. Okay. So maybe we'll have you on again, because the numbers are, but we'll go with the lowest one to see if we can't bring that up at least to sea level. How's that?
Sounds great.
Great. So why are your relationships at a 3?
I don't know.
Okay.
Most people say I'm unconventional. I'm hard. I'm cold. They don't really understand me. I don't. That's the only thing that I can.
That's not easy to hear.
No, it's not. But it's. I guess it's the truth for them. I don't know about for necessarily for me. I just feel like I'm just a person that's, as a matter of factly, and I have a tendency to look at all the variables, not just the ones that you want to see.
So you're a yes butter.
Yes, butter.
Yes. So you say yes and then but. Because you want to bring
Oh,
in another,
okay.
a yes butter. So
I never even say yes. I just look at all the variables.
okay. So would you, so the good thing is I want you to congratulate yourself. It's not easy to admit that there might be an issue and the issue might be you. So I want to just pat yourself on the back for that one. Okay?
I receive that.
Good. So let's just pretend that let's just now we're not talking about everybody thinks this way, correct?
More than not.
Okay. So people, are there some who love you exactly the way you are?
Yes.
Okay, good. So that means there's this thing called me and who I am. And there are people who will love us exactly as we are. Most of them are related to us. Either we gave birth to them or they gave birth to us. And what you're telling me is that you, in your pure, authentic self, in who you are, you connect with some, but who you are disconnects with most. Is that about right?
Correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
Okay, good. So the part of you that doesn't want to change may sound like, this is who I am. If you don't like me, that's not my problem. I don't need you. You have the right to your opinion. Go find someone else to play with, because this is who I am and I'm not going to change. Sound familiar?
Yes.
Okay. So you have every right to say that and to believe that and to think that. You have every right to do that. Now, the benefits of doing that is you are authentically you. And that is a benefit because you have no filters and you don't excuse yourself and you just are blatantly, this is who I am. I'm laying down here. There's no dressing up anything. Okay? So that's the benefit of that. It's free. You're free to be exactly what you want to say, whatever your impulse that comes into your mind, you say. There's not a lot of work in that. True?
Yes, unless otherwise stated. So if I have a friend who makes a request for me, of me, then I will definitely adhere to the request.
Okay. So you're willing to modify some of your immediate responses if you care about someone.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So
if they ask, only if they request, because in my mind, I am caring for you by giving you the truth.
Okay. All right. So the BS that we're going to look at right now, the belief system that I think is operating behind your actions, is it is absolutely the most important thing for me to be brutally honest. That in my If I care about you, I'm going to tell you the truth. And if I'm going to sugarcoat or not tell you the truth, then I really don't care about you.
Yeah, that's the belief in my head. Yes.
That's the belief in your head. So the result of living this particular belief system is the majority of people around you call you or experience you as difficult.
Correct.
Correct. So now you have a choice. You can continue to carry that BS and let it run your life and have the consequences that you've already gotten, or you can choose to modify or experiment with that immediate response and to experiment with the BS, the belief system. So, and I think you're ready for it. Otherwise, you would not have been so honest with me about how it's impacting you. So just for the next 30 days, not forever, but for 30 days, I want you to experiment with a new BS belief system. And that new belief system says, my intention is to be loving and caring and respectful. The way that I am impacting people is not loving, caring, and respectful. They don't feel my intention. They feel opposite my intention. So let me change so that my impact, my intention to be loving and caring and respectful actually meets the impact. So these people who find you this way, have they given you hints as to what to do differently in order to have the impact match the intent?
Some. My mom, especially, she is very. I have my mom and my best friend. They're both very. Their feelings are hurt really easy, even if they're asking my opinion, and I'll say, "Well, maybe you don't necessarily want to hear my opinion because it might not necessarily come out right for you." And I love you, and I'm not trying to hurt you, but so.
Right.
And I've developed that over years. It's taken time for me to even get there.
Right. So let me offer you a couple of things. No one has the right to be brutally honest, no matter what, because brutally honest is brutal. So, and I get that you really think that it is important for you to be honest, to be caring, but it's one of those BS systems that has never worked. And I'll give you a great example of this. I grew up with a mom who really, really believed that in order for her to be a really good mom, okay, and to make sure that I didn't grow up fat and to grow up the best that I could, she would call me fat. You're fat. Don't eat that, pinch me, kick me under the table. She'd say, you look ugly. She would say, you're so clumsy, you'll never find someone to love you. Okay. She was so well-meaning. In her mind, that was her job, to be well-meaning and intentionally cruel so that I would take that and become a better person, skinny, better person. Okay. In her mind, she was really...
I'm not quite that brutal, but I do understand.
Okay, thank you. I went the extreme way so that you could see that you're not that extreme, but you're on that same dimension, that same delineation. So
I get it.
Good. So what I'm asking you to do is, I don't want you to go to the other extreme. And if something really doesn't look good on someone, you go, oh, you have to buy it. You have to buy it. You look so good. That's lying. And that's,
right.
We don't want to go to that extreme, but it won't hurt to say, even, when my daughters ask me, what do you think of this, Mom? I'll ask them first. I said, do you want to know what I really think? Or do you want me to say what I think you want me to say? And so even softening your response to that, it allows for some space. Does that make sense?
Perfectly good sense.
Good. So here's the thing. You're not a hard person. Now, your impact is coming off hard, but I see your heart. You really do care about people. The translation from your care into the impact is what's going awry. So I just want you to consider, just for this next 30 days, because what's happened, though, is you've got a habit. You've got a habit of, this is what care looks like. And I want you to sort of soften up that habit and allow yourself to have more ways to define caring. So sometimes caring is allowing some people to walk in their delusion. Sometimes they just want to be, instead of told, well, I told you so, or told, you really shouldn't wear that, or told, well, you were stupid enough to choose them, or any of that, which is the truth, any of that type of caring. Let's just put that, you know how to do that really well. Let's try practicing a different kind of caring. So and you can even make a game out of this. It sounds like you have two fabulous people coaching you right now, your mom and your best friend. So ask them, what would I say in this situation that would be opposite to what I usually do? Just to prime your pump, so to speak. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So give me the example of the last time someone called you hard. What did you do or say?
Oh, wow. My fiance's mother said that her family didn't want me over to the house. And I said, I don't care.
Mm-hmm. Well, you were protecting yourself because that was a very hurtful thing to say. But if I look at...
And then she said, I know you don't care. Exactly. So why are you even talking to me about it?
Mm-hmm. See, it's this deeply rooted, a lot of history going down of a ball that's sort of out of control coming down the cliff. So it's based on many, 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 many comments, many, many, many unintended whatever it is. So the good news is you're still engaged to him, right?
Yes.
Okay. So
at this moment, there's times, and that's why I say my relationship is at a 3, because first of all, our relationship is unconventional.
Okay.
He's younger than me, and I'm older than him, but we really get along.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking about what everyone else is saying. It makes me want to not engage anymore.
Okay. Engage literally.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Can I ask how many years?
17.
Okay. That's a generation. Now,
Yes,
how long have you been dating?
6 years.
6 years. Okay. So you know each other quite well in 6 years. When you're with him without anything outside, when you're just with him, are you happy 88% of the time?
Yes.
Okay. And is he happy?
Even when we're not getting along.
Okay. And same with him. 88% of the time, is he happy?
Yeah, he's expressed that he was. I don't.
Okay.
I can only go by what he's expressed.
Well, that's usually how you judge someone's. But you might want to ask him, are you happy 88% of the time with me? Or let's do 80%, because that's usually the best you're going to get in relationships. I've been told. The research tells us. So.
Now, he's also been a person that has said to me, "Why are you so hard?"
Okay. So we've got a lot
of... So he's my other best friend.
You have a lot of reason to want to shift this hardness. And my guess is this hardness is like a raft that you built many, many years ago when you were young, because it was a coping device in order to protect you from getting hurt. That's my guess. Am I anywhere close?
Yes.
Oh, sweetheart. Okay, so take a deep breath. Tears are the disinfectant that keep your heart soft. It is so good to feel into this pain. I know you don't like it. I know that you don't want to go there because you think you're going to be like Humpty Dumpty and break into pieces and never get up, but you will not. I promise you, the hole has a bottom. The black hole, everybody has a black hole. It has a bottom. I'm in there with a flashlight right now. You are a beautiful woman who does care, who is not the same little girl that got hurt. I'm not saying that you didn't get hurt. You got hurt. But the world is not an unfriendly place. You have people around you that love you so much. So let's let go of the raft. The raft named hardness. You don't have to carry that raft anymore. It helped you when you were young, no doubt about it. But you don't need it anymore. Can you imagine what your life's going to be like now that you let go of your raft? The raft is heavy. You're carrying it around thinking there's going to be more water. There's no more water. Flood's over. Can you imagine what your relationship with him is going to be like when he says, baby, I love you soft. It's so wonderful to see you soft. Can you imagine what your relationship with your mom and your best friend are going to be? Girl, you're funny. You're so nice. You can be so nice. Can you imagine what your world's going to be like when strangers smile at you and thank you for the compliment that you just gave them? Do you know how good that's going to feel to you? Do you know how good it's going to feel not having to walk around with your hands crossed in front of yourself waiting for someone to hurt you? Defending yourself?
I just gave someone a compliment right now and they said I'm crazy.
Well, we're going to have to work slowly. We can't do you can't turn the large Titanic-like boat in one turn, okay? So we're going to have a little patience on this because nobody's going to believe it at first. They're going to think that, I gave you some kind of a prescription or an exorcism on the air. and I kind of did. I'm giving you a hard reset on you. We're deleting all the cookies in the history.
And when I don't get what's really making the wrath and the hardness is when I don't get the proper response. Like, thank you. Oh, I appreciate that you noticed that. Or, people come with the ugliest things and I'm really saying what I mean from my heart.
Yeah.
And that hurts.
Yeah. Well, you cannot control how people react, but you can control what you say. You cannot control how people come at you, but you can control how you react to them coming at you. So what you're engaged in is this cycle, you protecting yourself, them coming at you, you protecting yourself, going after them protecting themselves. Do you see that cycle? So we got to break the cycle. You cannot expect anyone to say what you want them to say until you like what you say. Ooh, that was deep.
Wow.
That wasn't from me. That came from a friendly universe. Say that. What did I say? You cannot.
I cannot expect what a person's going to say or like what I say until I like what I say. Wow.
Yes. So there's your work. So when stuff comes out of your mouth that you like, it doesn't matter if they don't like it because you know that you liked it. Isn't that good? Thank you, Jarvis.
Wow. Thank you.
Now you know why I like doing colleges. See, this is what it's worth, all that pain in the neck that you have to go through. Yes, Lakis, I know that this is the turning point for you. You do not have to be or say or believe any of the BS from your past. Today's a new day. May the 10th, 2016 is the first day of a very new chapter of your book. And this new chapter has no get hard. That movie's off the books. No get hard. Usually I don't like to say get soft, but you knew I was going to go there. I couldn't help that. That wasn't from above. That was from me.
That threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
I hope you are relating and enjoying these beautiful women callers who are finding out how to claim their birthright to be happy 88% of the time. And we'll be back with more advice from Dr. Marissa, your kinder, gentler Dr. Laura, when we return on Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And we're back. You are tuned into Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports radio station, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, iTunes, Audible, Amazon Music, TuneIn, and streaming everywhere, including my YouTube channel, where you can get all of my almost 700 shows streaming over the last 513 consecutive weeks, almost 9 years, and also my red carpet playlist with interviews with celebrities like Halle Berry, John Travolta, Quincy Jones, and more. You'll also get my new short film called PPP, Post-Pandemic Possibilities. And we are definitely now in that zone, in that time. As we return, I want you to really, and it got its first laurel, so we're super excited about that. And we're almost at 250,000 views. So please do free subscribe on my YouTube channel, where you can get as much hashtag positively opinionated, hashtag relentlessly inspiring Dr. Marissa as you want. All right. And as promised, here are the callers that want to up-level their happiness in relationships, in their work, and in helping themselves. Enjoy.
Welcome to the show, Marissa.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Absolutely. And let's go ahead and connect with breath. If you could put your feet on the ground, your palms up in your lap, gently closing your eyes, taking a deep breath in through the nose, and releasing all the stories and the drama. And one last deep breath in, opening the heart, connecting with me through chi, eternal energy, and releasing. And when you're ready, open your eyes. And on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being fantabulous, 1 being not so great, how would you rate your job and career category right now?
Right now is actually an 8.
Wonderful. And then in the category of relationships?
That would be, I'm thinking, probably like a 6.
A 6. And then the last category is health and well-being.
I'm probably at a 7.
Okay, so let's jump to 6, and that's the relationships. Why is it not at a 10? What would make it more at an 8? There's no 10, by the way.
Right now, which was a blessing, I became a grandmother, which is awesome.
Yay.
And I just feel like, it's when you're a parent, you actually parent at different ages, now that my daughter is 20. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like I feel like we're teenagers, so it's like I want to become a better parent or a better mom or, better understanding. Maybe it's a disconnect since, we're 25 years apart, and being a single mom, I always felt like the absence of her father overweighed the presence of me.
Uh-huh.
So it just feels like, I just need to probably just work on that. So, being a better daughter to my own mom, I feel like, that might be a good start. So, I always try to be a better daughter to my own mom to kind of foster that so she can, I believe kids don't do what you say, but they do what they see.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I feel like the DNA from the other side runs deep. But I feel like I was just a vessel. I was on one of those DNA shows, I think, Maury would be like, "You are not the mother."
Yeah. So the first thing I'd like to do is just ask you a question. Are you always really hard on yourself?
Probably so.
Okay.
Yeah, probably so.
Okay. So that's the first thing I want you to do is if I ask you, have you done the best that you could with the time that you had and the resources you had as a mother and as a daughter? Could you say yes?
I feel like I could say yes as a daughter.
Okay.
As a mom, I think we feel like we always could do more. And especially, I think when you are a single parent, you always feel like, you're rechecking things and you're like, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. But,
Mm-hmm.
given the resources and the time, what could I do if I'm a working mom,
Mm-hmm. I think we need to just take a minute and acknowledge how difficult it was for you to be that single mom. And that we need to not look at how you have failed, but how you have succeeded.
Okay. Like praise the progress.
Yeah. Because I have a feeling, I have this expression, don't poke the animal.
Okay.
And let me qualify this for a second. Is your daughter telling you how horrible of a mother you are?
No, not necessarily. Not like that at all. Okay. Just kind of, I think ever since she became pregnant and gave birth, it was just recognizing, I guess, not necessarily horrible parent, but just where she felt that I could have done better. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, how about you reel your dad into this, because it takes two people to make a baby.
Right.
I'm just the one that stuck it out. I mean, there's 3 million kids in foster care, and you could have been 3 million and one.
Right. And so, yes, exactly. And Edwene Gaines says the mother's only job is to pop them out, and after that, everything else is gravy. So, right. so this is the crux of it. So, this is why it's so important, regardless of what she's saying. Did you do the best that you could with the time that you had, with the resources you didn't have?
Right. You know what? I absolutely feel, yes.
Then leave it alone. Your daughter is going through what she's going through. She's a new mom. I'm guessing that she's a little freaked out because we don't really have a graduate program for being a mom, single or not.
That's it. That's right.
I was a single mom too. And, I can remember, I wasn't a single mom when the kids were born, but I can remember going, oh crap, now what? You read those what to expect when you're expecting and all of that, but you really don't know when it doesn't say, okay, now do step 1, do this. And when this happens, do this. You don't have time to read the step before you have to do it. So you just do the best that you can. And this is why I'm being particularly hard on you, not to be hard on you.
Right.
Because this is because I don't want you to get locked into and I totally understand it, because there are times when my daughters will say something about my mothering and I'm like, okay, fine, get what you need from your dad.
Right. Right. Exactly.
And we're not. And if we do a tally sheet of what I've done and what he's done,
okay,
yeah, it's like a big difference in those columns. And then I get all mad at him, and then I take it out on her, and then, it's just like this. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. And so it's less important for you to be a better mom. I mean, It's interesting. The caller before was about feedback. And I want to give this general principle to anyone who's listening to say, when do we have to change? Like if people are telling us to change or giving us
Right.
feedback and you go, please don't, give me feedback, just please don't get it all over me.
Right.
That word feedback. But when people, well-meaning people say, I think you should do this, or I really think you should do that, or you shouldn't do this, my rule of thumb is if I hear it more than 3 times from 3 different people, then it's
Right.
something I want to look at because my intent is not equaling my impact. But if it's from one person who has something vested in it or coming from a perspective that it sounds like your daughter is, then you have to look at it yourself. The number one question all the time when someone gives you feedback is, hold on, thank you for that. Let me examine. And you go away from them and you spend some time in meditation and you ask, is this something, is this on my side of the street? Is this something that I need to shift? Is this something that I need to do differently? And then be quiet and ask yourself that question. And then you'll get the answer. So let's just do that right now. Let's do that right now. Gently close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Am I a bad mom? What's the answer?
No.
Was I a bad mom? No, right? That was pretty
No.
fast. The answer is no. Was I perfect?
No.
Was I pretty darn good 8 out of 10 times?
Yes.
There you go. That's it. So you're not perfect, so there's always going to be the 20%. She's still
Right.
alive, so you didn't kill her,
Right.
right? And then
Yep.
a couple of other things. There's only 2 times in life where you will not have mother issues. When you're born and when you die.
Right.
It's just one of those primary relationships where it's not easy. I was so happy my kids were not the typical teenagers until last year. I don't know what happened. And I was like, ah! But, I think the reason why there's so much issue with teenager is if you didn't have that belligerence or that I know everything more than you wouldn't kick them out of the house to go to college. They'd always be there. You'd always want them nearby. So there's always a reason. And even, in the last call, I shared a bit about my mom, and she was so well-intentioned because she really didn't want me to be fat. She really didn't want me to be, unadmired or unrespected. And so she said some really harsh, cruel things to me as a child. And I was I hurt so bad and I suffered so long with all of those things until I realized that, her intention did not meet her impact. But if I focus on just her impact, I'm missing out on the intention. So, several years ago, I guess 7 years ago, I just decided that I was no longer going to just look at the negative impact. I was going to look at the intention, and I was going to love her knowing that she did the very best that she could. And I know that sounds like psychology. And yes, I am a psychologist, but I don't practice clinical because I don't like the way that people normally stay too much in that pain. So I choose to go to the best. And I want you to do that with yourself. I want you to go back every time you hear a criticism from her. Anytime you hear a criticism from yourself about, well, I should have, figured out a way that I was home more often. You were a working mom. You had to make money to put food on the table. You don't sound like this horrific, cruel, vindictive, manipulative woman. You sound like a woman who did the best that she could, and she did really well. And so that's the side of you that I want you to grow. That balance-centered Marissa that says, no voice. The committee, the critic that's saying, you could have done better, you should have done better. Why, Mom, didn't you do this? Why, Mom, didn't you do that? Either a reflection of what your daughter's saying or something you're making up yourself. And just say, thank you, but no thank you. That's not mine. You
Right.
know, I did 2 people's job in one body,
Right.
you know, and he did the best he could too. Your husband did the best thing he could do.
I love that.
Yeah. I really need to trademark that. Your husband, my husband did the best he could do. My mom did the best that she can do. I am hurting myself by holding that as a point of contention. Now, I'm human. There are going to be times when I'm going to, you know, my husband, formerly known as, can I say DICK WAD? I'm on CNBC News Radio and they have FCC, so I always, that didn't count.
Okay.
But, you know, he did the best that he could. Everybody does the best that they could. You did the best that you could. So let's just not even go there anymore. I want you to celebrate. I want you to celebrate the beauty of your daughter. And I'm so proud of you of being a mom. And I'm so grateful that you get to experience the love that you cannot get any other way than from having a daughter. And that's
Right.
what I want you to say. And that's how I want you to be. And that's what I want you to think about. You are not allowed to think about how you can do better.
Right.
That's the
Yeah,
past.
I love that. I love the fact that you said, you know, to kind of focus on is my intention is not equaling my impact. I really love that. And
Good.
I'm not hurting myself by holding on to that.
Yes.
One of the things that, you know, she said, she's like, Mom, you know, I'm so jealous you get to be a stay-at-home grandma. And that's why I rated my job so well, because I do have a side company that's doing so well. But at the time, I didn't have a side company,
Right.
you know, when she was coming up.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think,
and it was
you know, God,
okay. And it was okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
What's
that's
your
okay.
company?
Yeah, exactly.
What's your company?
My company is actually Legal Shield. You know, we teach people to worry less and live more, to protect not only themselves, but their family. You know, their families, you know, everyone deserves a legal protection. You know, we've been offering these plans for over 40 years, creating a world where everyone can access legal protection and everyone could afford it, you know, and in conjunction with identity theft.
Wonderful. And how do they find you?
And they find me on www.legalshieldassociate.com/Arissa, ARIS as in Sam, A, and my last name Molyneux, MOLIN as in Nancy, EAUX.
Beautiful.
Yeah, thank you so much for
Beautiful.
that.
You're welcome. Peace and blessings to you, Arissa. You're going to have a wonderful time being a grandma. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, Dr. Marissa. Have a wonderful day.
And this show would not be possible without my sponsors. So if you have a product, service, book, or event that you would like highlighted and spotlighted by Dr. Marissa, or if you have a product that you would like to give away for my #Asian Oprah giveaway, yes, I was introduced to Oprah as the Asian Oprah by my big brother, Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith. And her response was looking at me, looking down, looking at me again, smiling and saying, "Nice pants." And it took everything for me not to say, "Do you want them?" Would love to be able to promote you on the show. So please do contact me at drmarissa.life. Or if you'd like to be a guest, just go to drmarissa.life and look under the tab of Radio TV. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live from her living room during the pandemic, just for one more week, reminding you that it's all about balance. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. And go forth and multiply the joy that you are. And have the best day ever. See you tomorrow.